Humanity is not a real species. They are pets with delusions of grandeur.
The studio fell completely silent. The host stared in mute horror.
Ambassador, please. We are live. Let us return to the trade discussions.
I will speak truth. Humans are developmentally limited, best suited for galactic menial labor.
The host frantically signaled to cut the feed, but the insult was already burning across the interstellar networks.
They waste resources on entertainments while the galaxy carries their weight. Enough pretending.
Within minutes, the clip was everywhere. Viratrend, Stellar Cat, Zigand, Zigan. One image trended. The ambassador's sneer. In a sterile conference room on Earth, Director Reed replayed the clip. Her eyes turned cold. Someone muttered about a formal protest. Reed shook her head. No, that wouldn't be the play. She picked up a secure line and dialed a number that belonged to neither diplomat nor politician, but to a comedian. The room fell still. Every breath was measured. They were about to commit to the most absurd diplomatic gambit in human history.
Our formal protest would be buried in 30 seconds. We need something viral, something that lives.
She tapped the screen, pulling up Michael's file. White House Correspondents' Dinner. 3 times. Perfect.
He destroyed a senator's career in 8 minutes. Give him an hour, and Vor Carell won't know what hit him.
An aide mutely shook their head. This was not protocol. Reed ignored them.
The Vrlak expect us to whine. Instead, we'll laugh. And the galaxy will laugh with us.
The line continued to trill, a soft click. Then, silence. Somewhere in a hotel room, bathed in city light, a stand-up comedian lifted his phone. The caller ID read United Earth State Department. He answered, and the galaxy held its breath.
State Department? You only call when the sky is falling. What happened now?
Michael, it's Director Reed. We have an offer that requires your particular skill set.
Unless it's a headliner slot on the moon, I am not traveling. What's the gig?
We want you to perform a 1-hour live roast on the Galactic Cultural Exchange Network. The target is Vor Carell.
The orange guy who called us pets? You want me to roast him in front of the entire galaxy?
No censorship, no time delay. The network agreed, reluctantly. Are you in?
You had me at no censorship. I am in.
We'll transmit a full intelligence package within the hour. You have 9 days. Good luck, Michael.
The connection ended. Michael sat motionless, the phone still in his hand, the skyline glittering beyond the glass. Then he smiled. Not the grin of a performer, but the smile of a man unlocking an arsenal. The intelligence file arrived within the hour. Financials, medicals, personal correspondence, no redactions. Vor Carell's entire life was now research material. Michael spread the documents across his desk, circling the ugliest truths. A failed promotion, a third marriage in tatters, a secret gambling debt.
His public medical records mention a glandular condition that makes him sweat through formal uniforms. There's a joke here.
By day 3, the personal section was lethal. He rehearsed in front of a mirror, timing each punchline until the reflection cringed.
Vor Carell's haircut isn't just unfortunate, it's a cry for help from his barbers' union.
The foreign policy jokes took 4 days. Trade clauses, broken treaties, the Vrlak habit of strong-arming neutral systems.
Their warships look like appliances. I can get 10 minutes just on the flagship, resembling a toaster from the 1950s.
9 days blurred. He slept 4 hours a night, drank too much coffee, and sharpened every line until it could draw blood on impact.
Trillions are watching. If I bomb, it's not just my career. Humanity's dignity is on the line.
He stepped through the curtain into the roar of the crowd, and the broadcast clock began its countdown.
Good evening, Galaxy. I'm Michael, and I've been asked to deliver a 1-hour cultural exchange. Don't worry. I cleared it with your embassy. Apparently, laughter is a universal concept.
A scattered chuckle. Most of the audience didn't know what they were in for. Some species leaned forward. Others tightened their grip on the armrests. In a grand residence across the system, Vor Carell settled into his viewing chair, a glass of amber liquid in his claw.
This is Earth's official response. A jester, Pathetic.
His aides exchanged a nervous glance but said nothing. The ambassador's temper was legendary.
Now, I'm just a human comedian. According to your diplomat, that means I should be fetching his drinks. But instead, Earth sent me to pour him a tall glass of the truth.
Vor Karel's smirk faltered for half a syllable before he forced it back. His claws tapped the armrest. Michael saw the countdown clock tick to 59 to 30. He had the galaxy's ear, and he wasn't giving it back.
Let's start with Vor Karel's marriage. 3 attempts. Each one lasted less than my last Netflix special.
The audience erupted. A few species gasped, then joined the laughter.
How dare he? This is a diplomatic incident.
Career-wise, he applied for promotion 10 times. He got it when the selection committee died of old age.
4. Karel's claws dug deeper into the armrest. The glass shattered.
His medical file notes hyperactive perspiration. Right now, his uniform is a small ocean.
The audience roared. Some species had never seen a diplomat dissected so publicly. Sweat glistened across Vor Karel's orange skin. He bared his fangs in silent fury.
The galaxy now sees what Earth can do. We can roast a diplomat better than we negotiate a trade deal.
The clock ticked. Michael had barely started, and Vor Karel's image was already in tatters.
His third wife left because she said he was emotionally unavailable. Turns out, he was just waiting for a promotion call.
The insectoid ambassador from the Hive congruence doubled over, antennae vibrating with mirth. Even the Vrelic guests couldn't suppress their reactions.
Cut the feed. Now.
An aide stammered. It's a live broadcast, Ambassador. The network refuses to intervene.
Don't blame the marriages, though. His real passion is gambling. The Compact's foreign policy is his biggest wager.
The audience howled. A group of Teller delegates slapped their leathery palms together in applause. Vor Karel's eye twitched. A vein throbbed visibly beneath his orange hide. The press secretary whispered urgently. Sir, your public approval ratings are plummeting. We're seeing real-time drops on all metrics.
The Vrelax say humans are pets. But at least when a pet messes up the carpet, you don't need a treaty revision.
The countdown clock ticked on. The galaxy was witnessing the birth of a new kind of weapon.
They call him the Vrelac Paperweight. Not because he's heavy. He's never held a job long enough to leave an impression.
The audience roared, then started stomping in rhythm. A chant grew.
Get me the Compact's legal counsel. This is slander.
The press secretary frantically opened a secure channel. The chief of staff was already drafting a damage report.
Medical disclosure. He's allergic to humility. The antidote is expensive. It's called listening to anyone else.
The chant broke clear. Dev el oped. Dev el oped. The audience was turning his own word into a taunt. Vor Karel's breath came in ragged gasps. He yanked off his medals and hurled them at the screen.
Oh, the medals are off. Now we're having fun. You collect medals like I collect parking tickets. None of them worth the trouble.
The clock showed 45 minutes remaining. Michael had reduced a senior diplomat to an object of galactic mockery, and the audience was begging for more. The personal section was winding down, but one last humiliation remained. Vor Karel's aides physically guided him away from the screen.
And finally, the haircut. It's not a style choice. It's a cry for help from his barber's union. Even the Krellian scavenger birds won't go near it.
The audience erupted into a standing ovation, tears streaming. The chant dissolved into wild, stampeding applause. In his residence, Vor Karel upended his desk. A crystal decanter shattered, scattering amber liquid and glass across the marble floor. Hello screen flickered. To woe is legal tension. The host and the host range flickered. The host fanned. His legal team, I was afraid to say alive. His legal team.
Prepare the personal injury claim immediately. I want it filed while that human is still standing on that stage.
But enough about his personal disasters. Let's discuss something truly painful. Vrelac foreign policy.
A shift in the air. The laughter quieted. The audience leaned in. sensing the show was about to evolve into something far more dangerous. The countdown clock read 44 minutes remaining. The second act was about to begin. In 4 Carell's crumbling residence, the legal team typed rapidly, citing malicious public humiliation and targeted psychological harm. Michael took a slow sip of water, adjusted the mic, and smiled a different smile. The personal attacks were over. Now, the real diplomacy.
The Vrelac Compact's foreign policy is like a child's crayon drawing, messy, aggressive, and it makes you cry.
A ripple of nervous laughter. Some delegates from neutral systems leaned forward, suddenly intent.
Call the network chairman. Turn it off now.
His press secretary fumbled with the comlink, but Earth's State Department had made sure the broadcast was untouchable.
Their trade deals are so one-sided, even a pirate would return the goods and apologize.
The laughter grew, sharp and disbelieving. Even the Vrelac aides in the audience shifted in their seats.
The claim. File it now, before he completes another sentence.
But Michael hadn't even noticed the legal threat. He was already lining up his next target.
Every treaty they sign is a promise they'll break before the ink dries, and they expect applause for the honor.
The clock ticked past 42 minutes. Vor Carell's staff realized the personal humiliations were just the warm-up.
They exploit trade asteroids better than their allies. A Vrelac profit is someone else's bankruptcy.
A grizzled diplomat from the Gorandi Collective stood and applauded. Others followed. The applause was a verdict.
Article 7, Mutual Defense. Unless you are the one being attacked, then it's a subscription service.
4 Carell's comm panel lit up with angry hails from a dozen embassies. The Compact's allies wanted answers.
Tell the ambassador from Tycor that our treaties are sound. This is a human propaganda stunt.
Maybe if Vor Carell spent less time failing upward, his treaties would be worth the digital ink.
The laughter was sharp now, edged with years of diplomatic bruises. The galaxy was laughing at the bullies.
Vrelac foreign aid. We'll help if you give us your moon, 2% of your GDP, and a witty laugh track.
His legal team transmitted the filed claim, but the gesture was swallowed by the political avalanche. The clock showed 38 minutes. The Compact's reputation was hemorrhaging, and Michael was only halfway.
The Cleperi Accord was supposed to ensure fair trade. Instead, it reads like a Vrelac wish list with a sucker clause at the bottom.
A clip of that joke exploded across the Galactic network. News anchors played it. Pundits repeated it. Pundits repeated it. The Cleperi ambassador demanded an investigation.
I just got word. The Vrelac press secretary resigned moments ago. I guess my jokes are now classified as lethal weapons.
In the Vrelac embassy, the press secretary typed a terse resignation letter and transmitted it to every major news outlet.
She resigned without my permission. What is happening?
News of the resignation interrupted the broadcast. An aide gestured frantically at Michael, but he already knew.
Well, that was fast. I haven't even gotten to the part where their embassy furniture is made of lies and cheap particle board.
The audience roared, but beneath the laughter, a tremor passed through the political establishment. The roast was now a career-ending machine. For Carell slumped in his chair, bewildered. His press secretary had been loyal for a decade. The clock ticked past 34 minutes. The midpoint had passed, and the second half promised annihilation.
The press secretary quit to run a daycare. At least there, tantrums are developmentally appropriate. Unlike the Vrelac Compact.
The audience rose in a thunderous ovation. One more, echoed through the hall.
One more? We have 24 minutes, and I haven't even started on the spaceships.
4 Carell sat alone, head in his claws. His aides had gone. The comms were dead. Only the laughter remained. Michael drank. The final act would be pure chaos.
Now, let's talk about something genuinely terrifying. Vrelac interior design. Who put spikes on a toilet?
The crowd howled, tension dissolving into glee. 4 Carell did not look up. He had become a ghost in his own residence.
Your flagship looks like my grandmother's toaster. It's boxy, silver, and probably burns toast.
24 minutes remained. An empire was about to be undone by a kitchen appliance.
Your assault shuttles look like hand blenders, perfect for crushing ice and diplomatic careers.
The audience roared, some delegates slapping the floor. The broadcast crew wept. The Lechfragers wet this. Carell seized a decorative vase and hurled it at the view screen with a scream of rage.
Look, even your flagship is trying to escape by becoming a vacuum. It's a better use of its time. Your ion cannons sound like a struggling vacuum cleaner. Disturbing, slightly pathetic, and it never picks up the dirt.
The crowd erupted. Several ambassadors had to be helped to their seats. Carell swung a chair at the screen. It cracked, but the broadcast continued.
Oh, he's redecorating. Very Vrelak, their interior design motto. If it breaks, it belongs.
The hall was in chaos, laughter obliterating all decorum. In his ruined residence, Carell stood panting amid shattered glass. The screen still showed Michael's smile. A message crackled in Michael's earpiece. Director Reed's voice. Carell just filed a personal injury claim against the network.
Hold on, folks. Breaking news. My set just got a lawsuit. He's claiming emotional distress. I am pretty sure he means comedic excellence. That's a real condition.
The audience exploded. Even the Vrelak legal team, watching from a distant office, visibly cringed.
Even his lawyers are embarrassed. They tried to file it under mass destruction of a diplomat's ego. There's no legal precedent.
In a Vrelak law office, the lead attorney packed her briefcase and muttered to a partner, "Find me a new client."
The claim demands 10 million credits and a formal apology. I'll give him a heartfelt, "I am sorry your career is funnier than me."
The crowd roared louder than any space rocket launch. Tears streamed down every species' face. The clock showed 14 minutes remaining. Michael was now legally liable for a broken diplomat.
But seriously, folks, the only injury here is to his reputation, which was terminal before I walked on stage. Before I go, let's remember where we started. Developmentally limited. Well, Carell, you just got schooled by a talking monkey. Developmentally, you are behind the class pet.
The crowd erupted. A standing ovation shaking the hall. Confetti shot from the rafters. The clock struck 0. A news alert blared. Vrelak Chief of Staff resigns, calling the lawsuit an embarrassment to the compact.
Even his own team is bailing. That's when you know the roast is over, and the cleanup crew is here for the trash.
Another Vrelak official placed their badge on a desk and walked away forever. In his shattered residence, Carell saw the alert. His claws trembled. The room was a monument to his fury. He stared at the screen, now showing Michael taking a bow. The joy in that face was his annihilation. Michael bowed once, twice, grinning at the unthinkable. The galaxy's favorite weapon was laughter. The transmission ended. 1 hour, 3 careers. Michael had changed diplomacy forever. Michael slumped backstage, exhausted. Sweat soaked his blazer, but his face held a quiet, tired triumph. The galaxy erupted with clips and memes. Toaster flagship trended across 17 systems. The press secretary's daycare joke became a global catchphrase. Alien teenagers on a park bench replayed the blender shuttle joke, tears streaming, antennae vibrating with mirth. Carell stared at the silent comm panel in his ruined residence. No ally called. No one from the compact reached out.
I expected fury. Instead, silence. The galaxy just walked away. They've already moved on.
His claw hovered over the comm, but there was no one to dial. The Vrelak compact had effectively vanished. Speculation of his resignation dominated every news feed. The galaxy waited for the inevitable collapse. Michael checked his phone backstage. He saw the memes, the news, and allowed himself a small, satisfied smile. In a park on a distant world, teenagers huddled around a screen, repeating "Toaster flagship" and collapsing into giggles. 1 hour past the broadcast. Carell's career was over, but the formal resignation hadn't been spoken. The galaxy held its breath. 36 hours after the roast, Carell appeared before the press, his uniform disheveled, his eyes hollow.
I, Vor Karel, hereby resign my post. Effective immediately.
His voice cracked. The galaxy watched a broken ambassador. All three resignations, ambassador, press secretary, chief of staff, flashed across every network. A complete political evisceration. Director Reed released a statement. We have demonstrated that Earth's greatest weapon is creativity and a well-timed punchline. In the privacy of the State Department, she raised a single glass of champagne with her team. No celebration, just a quiet earned satisfaction. The Verlac Compact convened an emergency session. Their towering embassy seemed to lean under dark clouds. Inside, a nameplate had already been removed. The desks sat empty, a monument to a dead career. The galaxy had watched a comedian dismantle an interstellar power with nothing but words and timing. But the Compact's formal apology and any trade concessions had not yet been spoken. Another shoe remained in the air. Within a day, the Vrelic Compact broadcast a formal apology to Earth, conceding systemic failures and unacceptable insults. It was followed by a trade concession worth 40 billion credits, signed in a public ceremony under the banner of reconciliation. Director Reed reached out to Michael with a video call, and the offer was immediate.
We need your voice, Michael. The position of Galactic Cultural Counselor carries real weight. You've proven humor is a diplomatic tool.
Galactic Cultural Counselor? You want me to be a diplomat? I just mocked their ships for 24 minutes. I appreciate it, really. But I've got a Netflix special filming in 3 weeks. I'm calling it Roasting the Galaxy.
Well, at least send us tickets. And don't roast any more governments without warning.
Within hours, a digital poster appeared on every major world. Roasting the Galaxy with Michael's silhouette and a microphone of stars. The galaxy buzzed with anticipation. The man who destroyed a diplomat with comedy was coming back on his own terms. Earth's State Department stood in gleaming white, but Michael wasn't inside. He was where he belonged, on stage. 3 weeks later, Roasting the Galaxy filmed in a sold-out arena. The stage lights were blinding, the crowd a sea of alien species.
You think the Vrelac got it bad? Wait till the Krelacs hear my vacuum jokes?
The special broke intergalactic viewership records. It was translated into 400 languages. Michael became a household name from Earth to the fringe. When the Emmy nominations were announced, Roasting the Galaxy was named in 4 categories, including Outstanding Variety Special. At the ceremony, Michael sat in a sharp tuxedo. The presenter opened the envelope, and the room held its breath. And the winner, Michael. The crowd erupted. He kissed his wife, shook hands, and walked to the stage.
I was told humans are developmentally limited, but we just won an Emmy for making the galaxy laugh. That's a cosmic upgrade. This is for every comedian who turned pain into punchlines, and for the State Department who had the wildest idea in interstellar history.
The golden trophy sat on his shelf, engraved with his name. A symbol of the most unlikely victory in galactic history. Michael looked into the camera, winked, and the galaxy laughed one more time. The Vrelac Compact passed a binding resolution. No representative would ever appear live again. A silent monument to 1 human hour. A holographic magazine cover floated across the net. The comedian who changed the galaxy. Michael's face smiled above the title. Then, 6 months later, his secure line rang. The caller ID read United Earth State Department.
Michael, we have another situation. The Tharine ambassador called humans overrated. Are you free?
Overrated? That's a compliment compared to last time. Give me a week. I have a new bit about air fryers I want to work in.
He glanced at the Emmy on his shelf. The golden statue caught the light.
Call it deep-fried diplomacy.
A poster appeared on a digital billboard. Deep-fried diplomacy, with a silhouette of a fryer next to a Tharine ambassador. The galaxy buzzed. Backstage, Michael looked at the stage where trillions would soon watch. The mic stood alone under a warm light. He stepped forward, and the galaxy held its breath once more.
Some of you might remember an orange ambassador who called us pets. Well, who's fetching the apology now?
The audience erupted. The joke needed no explanation. The galaxy remembered. In a darkened room, Vor Karel watched the broadcast on a small screen. His claws trembled.
He's probably filing another lawsuit right now. But I hear the courts ruled. My jokes are legally funny.
His claw hovered over the off switch. For a moment, he simply stared. Then, with a click, the screen went black. The room fell silent. Back on stage, Michael caught the camera with a wink. The galaxy laughed one last time, and somewhere in a museum, a glass case held a Navy uniform and a small plaque that read, "The insult that backfired." The galaxy had learned its lesson the hard way. Never, ever call a human developmentally limited. Because when you do, you might just get an Emmy-winning roast and a front row seat to your own irrelevance.